When we think of fast fashion production, the United States might be the last country to come to mind. And that is actually very true. China, Bangladesh, yes, but you wouldn't really think of the United States of America, right? Unfortunately, that is not the case, as the truth is that even in America, as in USA, garment workers are being thrown into vulnerable situations and being taken advantage of on a daily basis. If you want to know more about this subject, stay tuned because this video will be dedicated to the fast fashion production in the United States of America. Hello everyone, this is Asir Sorbekova, your guide to understanding matters of fast fashion and sustainable development the legal way. The number of garment workers in the USA, mainly in LA, comprise 50,000 garment workers. Out of these, the vast majority of workers produce clothes of the famous fashion brands like Forever 21 and Fashion Nova, and of course others. These American workers are as much vulnerable as workers in China, Bangladesh, Ethiopia, you name it. But before we talk about some of the most obvious issues, let's discuss the California minimum wage situation. According to the website shoeslaw.com, I found out that as of January 2020, the minimum wage in California is $12 per hour for employers with 25 or fewer employees in one institution, one company, and $13 per hour for employers with 26 or more employees. So the minimum wage scale means that it is illegal for employers in California to pay their employees less than the set minimum wage, that is 12 or 13 US dollars per hour. And according to the same website, California's state minimum wage overrides the federal minimum wage of 7.25 US dollars per hour. That means that if you work in California, you must be paid the higher rate than the average US salary. Because obviously, you know, as we know, living expenses are higher in California, and that means that the minimum wage should be set accordingly, according to what the living expenses are in that state. In addition, California's minimum wage is set to increase every year until 2023. And that means that from 2017 up to 2023, we will be seeing, and now we can see some increase in the salary because this started in 2017. Now, back to the question of the salary of garment workers in LA, California. Did you actually know that garment workers in LA earn as little as between 2.77 US dollars to $6 per hour? That would mean that they would be earning about 150 US dollars per week, whereas we just said that the minimum wage in California is 12 or 13 US dollars depending on the size of the company. The New York Times writes, Los Angeles is filled with factories that pay workers off the books and as little as possible, battling overseas competitors that can pay even less. So which brands produce in LA? Among some of them, we can name Forever 21 and Fashion Nova. Yes, you heard it right. These two companies, these world famous companies, they produce in LA and they pay as little as it can get. Of course, it doesn't mean that they produce only in LA, but a significant portion of their clothes are actually made in LA. Now let's talk about Fashion Nova. According to New York Times, in investigations conducted from 2016 through this year, the department discovered Fashion Nova clothing was being made in dozens of factories that owed $3.8 million in back wages to hundreds of workers, according to internal federal documents that summarized the findings that were reviewed by the New York Times. The New York Times article goes on to say that at the time of the investigation, they found out that, actually 80% of the clothing of the Fashion Nova was actually being made in LA. And then as time went by, the Fashion Nova decreased its production in LA and, went overseas. And now a portion of its clothes are being made in LA, less than half, as they are saying. But it's actually quite significant, less than half, which could be whatever percentage, but it's still significant considering the effects of its production on the situation, on actually the life of workers, garment workers in LA. The same article of the New York Times goes on to say that the company Fashion Nova does not directly deal with factories that produce their clothes, and that it just places bulk orders, and when these orders are ready, the factories they deliver, they ship them to the Fashion Nova. Fashion Nova and other brands, similar brands that produce clothes in LA or anywhere else, actually, they do not handle employment situation, and that they consider themselves, which actually is true, they not employers of these workers, and that these workers have their own employers, owners of factories, garment factories that receive orders from these brands. So basically, this is how Fashion Nova and other companies justify their behavior, their negligent and irresponsible attitude toward the rights of garment workers, by saying that they have no hands on the supply chains, that they are just clients of these garment workers. They just, order clothes, and that these clothes are actually how they are made. It has to be dealt with directly, between employees and employers. So now let's talk about Forever 21. According to Los Angeles Times, LA Times, Forever 21 has not had to pay a cent. Like other major clothing retailers, Forever 21 avoids paying factory workers' wage claims through a tangled labyrinth of middlemen that stands between the racks in its stores and the people who sew the clothes. In other words, just like with the Fashion Nova situation, Forever 21 claims that it's a retailer, not a manufacturer, and thus is always at least one step removed from Los Angeles factories. One more excerpt from the LA Times article, which says that the U.S. Department of Labor investigated 77 Los Angeles garment factories from April through July of 2016 and found out that workers were paid as little as $4 and an average of $7 an hour for 10-hour days spent sewing clothes for Forever 21, Ross Dress for Less, and TJ Maxx. One worker in West Covina made as little as $3.42 per hour during 3 weeks of sewing TJ Maxx clothing, according to the Department of Labor. As a proof of the situation of garment production in Los Angeles, I invite you to watch a documentary of an organization called Remake entitled Made in America. This recent documentary takes you into multiple LA garment factories, talking to local garment makers, designers, and a labor conditions inspector about what's really going on behind closed doors. And head of this organization, the organization Remake, Ayesha Barenblatt, says that garment workers in the USA have long worked in subhuman working conditions. Here is what I have come up with, which to me are issues in Los Angeles in the ready-made garment industry of LA. Hello everyone, this is Editing Asel here. I just realized that I lost a clip where I was actually mentioning issues on the garment industry situation in LA. So I decided to add this clip instead of remaking a similar one. Issue number one, it's about the lowest American wages. We said that the garment workers in LA earn as little as between 2.77 to $6 an hour. And the second one is underpaid garment workers, which has to do with their overtime work. It turns out that they sometimes earn, I'm sorry, they work 5, 6, 7 days a week with a 10-hour shift, and it's actually hugely unproportionate when it comes to the salary that they earn. So not only they are the lowest paid employees in California, but they actually are underpaid and their overtime is in most cases not considered. Issue number three, it's about undocumented garment workers. It means illegal migrant workers, immigrants, etc. And this actually takes them, puts them into a the most vulnerable position because they are actually afraid to, file a complaint because of their legal status in the country, because of their undocumented situation. And issue number four, it's about the problem of earning by piece, meaning that garment workers up to now, they are earning not by hourly rate, not by a fixed salary rate, but according to how many garments, how many clothes per day they would be making. And the following clip that I will, in which I will talk about it, will actually describe what it means to earn by piece. Shockingly, under a piece pay rate, garment workers only receive 0.3 US cents per piece they create. This in turn translates to about $5 an hour, which is a 1/3 of the minimum wage. The minimum wage in the California state, we said, is from 12 to 15 US dollars. 15, it will increase soon, but now it's 12 to 13. $5 an hour or $15 an hour, you make the math. It's 1/3. We got good news. My apologies, I realized that I lost another clip in which I wanted to say that on the 29th of June 2020, the Garment Workers Protection Act, otherwise called as SB 1399, was passed by the California Senate with a 5-to-1 vote, a triumph for Remake and their campaign. SB 1399, the law is designed by workers to close loopholes in the law that today result in workers being paid well below the California minimum wage, and to brands like Fashion Nova, Ross, Forever 21, and others to benefit from this wage theft. In other words, this bill will prevent brands and retailers from benefiting from the layers of subcontracting to avoid accountability under the law. In addition, this bill will eliminate the piece rate and instead ensure that workers are paid California's minimum wage. The passing of the bill is a major win for garment workers and is a game changer in the fast fashion industry taken as a whole. This bill is important because Los Angeles is home to 50,000 garment workers and is the largest manufacturing hub in the United States. It's unfortunate, though, that this happened only in 2020 and that this was not regulated for years. In a country, USA, which you wouldn't be thinking of when you would be thinking of the fast fashion production. But the truth is that the fast fashion business model is a very tricky and sneaky business model which finds its ways everywhere in legislations, in different settings, in different ways of doing business, and it has so far managed to thrive, actually, thanks to its way of finding loopholes everywhere it can. But enough is enough, and the proof to it is the California Garment Workers Protection Law, and hopefully this law will, be implemented and change lives of garment workers for the better in terms of their salaries, their working conditions, overall, their the whole garment industry of the California state. That's all for today. For videos on fast fashion and matters of sustainable development, subscribe to my channel and join me every Sunday by 10 a.m. CT. And if you like this video, smash the like button and leave a comment down below. Thank you for watching, take care, and see you next Sunday.